Hey guys, I'm Drew, and today I'm going to show you guys how I like to prepare my ribs on my Yoder YS640S. And this is my first time making a barbecue video, so if you guys like the video, subscribe or like it, whatever you guys do, and I hope you guys enjoy it. Okay guys, today I'm just going to show you how I like to make my pork spare ribs. We have St. Louis style cut, and just got these at my Safeway here. And yeah, this is my first barbecue video, so let's see what we can do. So first, just take it out of the bag, open her up. As you can tell, it has all the membrane back here. And what we're gonna actually do before that is just kind of take off some of this excess meat and fat that's not really gonna cook. That's fine. Then what I like to do is I kind of just like to go on the first rib right here. Kind of lift up the skin a little bit. Grab a paper towel and rip it off. Like so. And this, it's pretty squared up how I like it. So again, just take off some of the excess fat on this and just get rid of it. Pretty good. So we have 3 racks today that we're gonna do, and I'm just gonna speed through this real quick. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna put yellow mustard. Doesn't add any flavor, doesn't change the rib. All it does is we make sure that the rib sticks. Crap. So I'm using Famous Dave's rib rub. You can use any rib rub. The back I kind of go not too heavy just because there's not much meat on the back. Flip it around. Add some mustard again. Rub it all over. Make sure you get all of the ribs. Add some mustard. Again, just go ahead and season that bad boy. Nice even coat. There you go. My general rule of thumb is I don't want to see any of the mustard. That's when I know I got it really good. Get the sides. I gotta make sure that. And yeah, this one's ready. I'm gonna put it right here in the cookie sheet. Okay, so now that we put the seasoning on the ribs, we're just gonna let them sit, let them really soak in all that dry rub. And then in the meantime, we're gonna fire up the smoker. We're gonna stick these bad boys in. Let's see how they turn out. I really love my Yoder. It's super easy to set up. I got it up to 250 degrees in about 25, 30 minutes maybe. And this thing is built like a tank. It's really thick steel. It keeps in the heat very well, and it makes my smoking that much easier. All right, guys, so my smoker is up to temp. I'm gonna put these ribs in here, and what I like to do is I like to scrunch them up just a little bit, just so that the meat, there'll be plenty of meat on each bone, and then the way you form them is the way they're gonna cook. So go ahead and just put another one down here. Remember, scrunch them up just a bit. Awesome. See you in a couple hours. All right, guys, so I'm gonna check out these ribs, and they're looking kind of dry. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna spritz them, and what I have here is 50% apple cider vinegar and 50% water. So just 1-to-1 ratio, actually. So just give them a nice little spritz. That way they won't dry out. Keep them nice and moist and juicy, but they're looking really good. The color's coming in. And yeah, I really like to spray these suckers so they get really wet. So after about 3 hours of it receiving nothing but smoke flavor, I really like the color that I see on these ribs, and they're just the right amount of doneness. So I want to pull them off and get them ready to wrap. That's usually the color I'm going for, and also they have that nice little bend to it, but not too much. So let's go ahead and go inside, get them ready to wrap. That way they can become tender and get a lot more flavor into the rib itself. So now that we spent about 3 hours smoking the ribs, it's time to really add some flavor to them. So what we're gonna do is wrap them in some butter. I like to lay down about 3 pieces of butter, a little bit of brown sugar, no exact measurements, just kind of go with the flow. Kind of something like this, just break it up a little bit. And then what I really like to add is honey. Add any type of honey, add a couple of lines, just like that. Nice and simple. That's what it looks like. Then we go meat side down. So gravity will be your friend here, and all the meat will obviously be at the bottom, and all the juices are gonna soak up the ribs, and just wrap it like so. I like to double wrap just because I don't want any holes poking with the ribs. Oh, and before we wrap it up, actually, a couple spritz of apple cider vinegar. And then this foil paper is obviously not big enough, so just wrap it once over. I like to get a nice tight seal over my ribs, just kind of get a feel for it. Just like that, put it aside, and then I'm gonna do the other two and we'll throw them back in the smoker. So I'm gonna put these in the smoker for about 2 hours. After 2 hours, the rib is gonna become much more tender, and it's gonna have loads of flavor on that awesome rib. All right, so after being in the smoker and getting all those flavors in, getting all that butter, sugar, honey, the ribs also got really tender during this process. So let's open them up. And as you can see, the membrane, or I don't know what it's called, is ripping through. That's a good sign. You can see more of the bones. That's also a really good sign. And you can just feel it, and it's super duper wiggly and wobbly, which is a really good sign. Oh yeah, look at that color. Look at everything just kind of all coming together, and see that nice bone exposed now. The more we cook it, the more the bones are gonna pull back. It really kept its shape. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna hit it with some barbecue sauce. You can put your own favorite barbecue sauce. You can put, this is how I like to make it. So I'll put some barbecue sauce on. This is Famous Dave's Devil's Spit. Just kind of brush it on there really nice. You can be pretty generous about it. Get it nice and saucy. So I'm gonna put the ribs in here with the barbecue sauce. I'm gonna leave them in here for about 45 minutes to an hour. And on this next clip, it's gonna be after that time frame. As you can tell, the ribs got really nice and glazy. That barbecue sauce is sticking or stuck right onto the ribs, and it's ready to take off and go inside and get them cut up. All right, guys, so after a very long cook, and when I mean long, I mean about 5.5 hours. And I know my wife agrees because she's been wanting to eat these ribs since I put them in. So, a little bit of recap. We squared up the ribs a little bit, not too much on these. Took off the membrane, used mustard as a binder, put on our rub, let it sit for about 15 to 20 minutes while we fired up the grill, or the smoker I should say. Put them in the smoker for about 3 hours. Let it really absorb all that smoke, all that good flavor. And then what we did is we wrapped them in foil, and in the foil we put butter, brown sugar, and honey. Honey for the money. We wrapped them for about 2 hours, took them out, glazed them, put on our favorite barbecue sauce, left it in the smoker for about 45 minutes to an hour. And as you can see, we have this beautiful end result. Let's see what it tastes like. So I'm gonna take my first slice. I let it rest for about 15 minutes. Take a couple slices. Really nice, cutting really nice. It's really hot. I actually ran out of gloves, so I'm gonna use this. Or not. Let me just get in on this rib right here. So as you can see, we got a really good smoke ring, even with the pellet grill, with the Yoder. It looks really good, really juicy, as you can tell on that side. I'm hoping this camera picks it up. But the way I like my ribs is you could still bite it, but it's not super fall off the bone. I feel like that is too tender for me. But let's give it a taste, and I'll let you guys know what it tastes like. That is super good, really. My wife is laughing at me right now, but it's super tender. It's super tender. The flavor is really well balanced. It's not too sweet. That smoke is right there. And you also still taste the rib, which is really important. Obviously, we don't want to overdo it with the rub and everything else we put in it. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I really enjoyed making it. It's my first barbecue video, hopefully not my last. Let me know what you guys think, and we'll see you guys on the next one. Let me know what you guys want me to make next, and we'll see how this goes.